we are back.
We're back.
We're back. We're always back. We're always with you. I am so excited tonight because we're talking to Beth Allen, who we met at Octagon
At
Hall,
Octagon Hall,
one of our
one of
favorite
the most
spots.
magical places on earth. And yeah, I'm so excited. We were just telling Beth before we hit record, we actually talk about her all the time and we loved our investigation there. So I feel like this interview is such a long time coming. And if any of y'all have been around here for a minute, you've listened to our stuff from when we went to Octagon Hall last year and just know how much we loved it. So we're just so freaking excited to be able to talk to Beth.
We are. And to, Beth, actually, those of you that listen to the podcast, I think I've relayed this story on either this one or Real Ghost of, one of the two, or both. I had a really weird experience when we started, to the point where Beth here told me that if it didn't get under control, she may have to take me out of the house.
Well, we thought maybe you were having an old man heart attack,
An old man heart attack. I love that for me. Is that a diagnosis?
Yep. TM.
All right. So, Beth Allen, hello. It's so wonderful to see you again.
Oh, you guys are amazing.
You're amazing. We do. We talk about you all the time. We talk about Octagon Hall all the time. We had some wild experiences there. But before we even jump into that and start talking to you about that, let's just dive into who you are and what you're doing, because you do more than anything Octagon Hall related. Yeah.
Yeah, I do a little bit of everything. That's my life 24/7 though. I'm trying to carry on two wonderful gentlemen's legacies because that's what the hall is about. And I'm very blessed, I will say, to be working with one of their grandsons. He's the executive director of the foundation. So he's basically my boss, but he treats me, well, we're family. That's what it's all about. So when it's not Octagon Hall, it's On Blaze. When it's not On Blaze, it's NightStalkers Paranormal or the Black Wolf or something.
The Black Wolf. So you're doing a lot of stuff. So Soul on Fire, that's what it's called, correct?
On Blaze.
On Blaze. So tell us about that, actually, because I know when we spoke to you sitting on that beautiful porch at Octagon Hall, you told us briefly about it, but dive in. Let us know what's happening with that.
Well, basically, it's where I have my own office on the hall property. I'm also not just the director of operations at Octagon Hall, I'm the house psychic medium. And you've seen me. I'm clearly not a medium. I'm definitely an extra large, pushing a 2XL.
Oh my God.
It's my superpower. But that's where I do readings. I do Reiki. I do spiritual counseling. I help people with soul healing. Like, I don't do it for them. I help them do it themselves. And that's what it's all about.
Interesting. How long have you been doing that?
Oh, my whole life, basically. But, when you're young and you don't have anyone to guide you, you kind of later in life, I was very fortunate. I had the best, I don't want to call him my mentor. He was my teacher. He was a father figure, and that was Bear. So, and I've had some great women in my life that are very gifted individuals that they push me to come out of I came out of the medium closet back in 2020, but I always just thought I was a great detective and I should have been like part of CSI or something. But I should have listened a little better, but it happens when it's supposed to.
I think there's relevance there. I think it does happen when it's supposed to. What was that like, though, when you mentioned that medium coming out? And both of you, I think, have maybe had that same experience. I mean,
yeah, also 2020 for me.
Because you thought you were crazy, right? And then it took a very cool therapist to be like, bitch.
I just had real bad anxiety, but I just, similar, it sounds like to you, Beth, I grew up having weird experiences, waking up and seeing shadow people around my bed, but then you blink and they go away and you just kind of write it off. And I don't know, just assume that everybody has these experiences, but turns out, I guess they don't. So.
Right. And my thing was, of course, I didn't say anything because I didn't know how it would be perceived. The people that were closest to me always knew there was something a little different about Beth. But once I started, I don't know how I should describe this. So I've been a solo investigator for over 30 years. But I started with I call it the Crips and Bloods because that's what the paranormal community has come to. Um, and being from Atlanta, I'm no stranger to that.
Yeah.
But once I got out in the paranormal community per se, I waited till I would see how people would react. And then I was like, Bear didn't give me much of a choice. You gonna open that door, I'm gonna open it for you. And I was doing, the peeking around the corner, like, is anybody looking? And then finally, I just started saying, like, hey, this is what I see. This is what I feel.
Which is amazing because I know actually when we came to visit, we had our bruv, Sir Talking Hair, Eric, was with
Yes.
us. And it was so funny because as y'all were kind of talking and sharing some history, Eric's standing in a doorway and, I see something and then I think he sees it too and he's looking at me making eyes like, you see that? I'm like nodding. And then immediately after y'all stop talking, you brought it up, Beth, too. You're like, oh, I see, this in the doorway and blah, blah. It's attached to one of y'all, and we all look at Eric. It's like, yep, that's for you, buddy.
Which, he is going to be so excited to listen to this episode because much like us, well, that was a beautiful experience for him, the whole property. He loved Bear. He loved you. He loved the property. He talks about it probably more than we do. So he's excited to go back because we are going to make another trip up there soon.
Yeah, we're trying to go back in March or April.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. It'll be up there. It'll be good.
That would be great. And
so
I talked about him. I talked about him because somebody brought up Sherman. And it was so funny when he looks at me. Will you still love me after I tell you this?
Yeah. That's Eric.
That's our bruv. We love you, Eric. Shout out, Eric.
Dang, I wish I had the sword actually because he had. There. Oh, right here. Hold on, let me grab
a haunted object, just like in grasp. So
right,
within grasp, arm's reach.
Well, we are recording this in our haunted museum,
but
don't stab you. This is Civil War era.
Yes, it is.
From Eric. Eric, we're showing her your family heirloom sword.
Yeah.
Right now,
which it's nothing compared to the relics that are there. That house has some.
Oh my God, such amazing pieces of history.
So before we get like literally overexcited about that, Octagon Hall, when you described saying what you would see or what you would feel in a mediumistic sense, I always like to ask everyone individually, can you describe that for me?
Well, so sometimes I would feel other people's emotions. I would think it was mine, but I knew, hey, I'm not unhappy right now. I mean, I'm having a great time. I'm laughing. And the next thing you know, I'm in the floor crying like a little baby. And I was like, okay, that's not me. So that's something else. Or I would feel like literally something else was in my body that did not belong there.
Oh.
And
that's interesting. Expand upon that.
Yeah, there's a synchronicity there. Expand on that.
It's like, I had my mind and someone else's mind is there. Or I felt like there was something on top of me that was not supposed to be there. Outside, like my clothes, but it was like somebody was wearing me as a meat suit,
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I don't like this. And then it got to where I had one experience that really, I think that was the pivotal point of this is not normal. I felt something like, and I'm horrified of snakes. So it felt like something was moving within my body.
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, okay, this ain't good. So that was the start of me understanding more about physical mediumship versus third eye mediumship, I would say. I'm like, wait, hold on. Wait, they can get in your body? Hold on. Like that was a whole thing.
Wait, so you're equating that to the way a snake would feel?
That one time it felt like like I could feel something weird, like moving up my legs. And then it started like, I could feel it throughout my whole body moving from place to place. And I was like, hold on.
That's so interesting. That reminds me of this story. Actually, my old flute teacher, I know I told you many moons ago, but her dad for a long time was very into like Kundalini and would do all of these meditations and
Right.
stuff, and he had a similar experience one time, and it actually scared him so much, he stopped doing all of it, got rid of, like, all of his books and stuff on it, and yeah, just, like, wouldn't mess with
I
it
don't know that
anymore.
I don't remember that story. I feel like I would have filed that one away, because I'm very interested in when the new age goes wrong,
Yeah.
right? Like, I'm very interested
Right.
in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was something that happened like out of nowhere. Like not something I was looking for, not um I mean, I think it was, to be honest, I think different people, their energy and the energy of different locations can pop people,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
It does.
I feel like it's like sitting and waiting for water to boil, and you walk into a location and somebody turns the fire up, and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting thought, and I'm guessing obviously you've kinda come to this conclusion based on various personal experiences. What have you found typically will go into that and impact that? And again, another synchronicity here with what happened to you this past weekend. We'll get there.
Good
Right.
old
But
Watseka, Illinois.
yeah, that's really, really interesting that you describe it that way. That's something or specific locations or places will just kind of open that up in people.
And
Why do
I
you
think
think
it's the energy.
okay, but you think the energy of a place and a person can somehow, mm, uh, have a connection, I guess is the best.
I do. It's just like, so we'll use the hall for instance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A lot of people come to the hall and they've never been, and they walk in, and next thing you know, I've seen them 5 times in a month because they feel like they've been there before, or
Mhm.
they just feel drawn to the property. And I
Mhm.
can say that about a few locations where people, they live on the West Coast, but they come over here and they're like, whoa, I've been here before, or I feel a connection. It feels like home.
Mhm.
Another synchronicity because I said that about a Mineral Wells location, didn't I? First time going in there, feels like home.
Oh, please don't tell me it was the hospital.
No, we
No.
can't. Yeah, no, I've not gotten in there. Um,
Not the
man,
Nazareth. No.
No.
no, but we've been to Mineral Wells now so many times. I mean, you've got what they call Hill House there, and golly, I just wish it was called something else, because
Uh-huh.
Right.
yeah, it just sounds, but it is
Like the movies.
it's one of the most wild places, obviously, but Octagon Hall. So this is, I have to say, so what was this last year
Mhm.
that we were up there?
Mhm.
We'd gone up there and we did a whole trip, right? We did the Bell Witch in Adams, I guess it is, Tennessee. We
Mhm.
went
Yep.
to Octagon Hall there in
Mhm.
Franklin, and we went to Waverly
Mhm.
and a few Buckies along the way, and then we went
Yep.
back. But when we got to Octagon, it's really interesting because we arrived shortly before y'all, and we're just kind of walking around the property there. And I wish that I would have immediately just got out of the car and put my recorder on because we're in the back property area. And I think if I'm remembering correctly, it's like I don't know if it's a field or something behind
Back
there.
by the cemetery.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there was a very, very audible and distinct woman singing.
Mhm.
And it was just wild because it was like right there. So I'm like looking around, and it would happen and happen. And that was like right away when you get there, it kind of happened. We had a lot of wild experiences there,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
A lot. What are some of the crazy things? Now, I don't even want to use the word crazy because that sounds a bit TV show, but
Most impactful.
good
There
word.
you go. Well, so I will say this: Bigfoot activity is like always been a thing at Octagon Hall, but it's like on the uptick right now. And
Yep.
I leave
Time to go.
all.
Mhm.
I understand right now it's October, the veil's thinning, all that, whatever. But with the state of the world and the vibration of the earth and all the planet alignments and all that, things are getting like we're getting closer to that next level.
Mhm.
And
Hmm.
I had a Bigfoot experience Saturday night that just made me go, I might be nuts. Like,
Ooh.
I might be very insane. We had an issue. Well, we won't call it the issue. The team that was there hosting the novice hunts this weekend sent me a message. Hey, is there any reason the lights on the tractor would come on? No. Any reason they blink? No, the key's not even in the tractor. Well, it's happening. And they recorded it. The next day, Saturday, Brandon is out there and he records the whole thing on video. The lights are coming on and off to answer questions on the tractor with
Whoa.
no key in it. I'm like, okay, well, I'll go out there later tonight. So I get on the four-wheeler. I normally don't ride at night, but I went out there and I drove by, and lo and behold, bink, 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 bink. I'm like, the lights are going on and off. I open the barn door. Can you turn those off? They go off. Okay. I get back on the four-wheeler. And you know the side of the barn that if you walk along it and you go straight to the slave cemetery?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then right in between the family plot. And I'm riding through there and I look to my right, and I was going pretty fast. I look to my right and there's a huge figure running like parallel to me, running
Ooh.
towards the slave cemetery.
Shit.
Well, instead, I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to go towards it. I try to cut left next to the family plot and
Mhm.
almost come off the four-wheeler because the four-wheeler completely cuts off
Oh my God.
What?
everything but the lights.
Oh.
Dang. Interesting.
And I see it go back out into the field. So they all come running out and, they're cutting down the field and the grass has been cut. And we found huge footprints on the grass, like and then you could look in the beans and see where something had run through there.
Oh my gosh.
So wait, is that the first time that y'all have ever got something like footprints that were
No. We've had castings before, but it hasn't been raining. Nothing. It's just where we cut the grass down and there's a footprint clear as day. And the guy with me wears a size 14 shoe. That was clearly like a 19.
Shit.
Whoa.
What person wears a size 14? This guy's got to be huge.
My son wears a size 15 shoe. He's 6'5".
What?
Oh my gosh.
6'5". He would just lumber over me. Well, I
Yes.
guess people do. I'm just short.
Yes, you
That's
are.
what it is. Oh,
Ain't
boy.
nothing wrong with it. Me too.
No, yeah. No, that's wild though, because when you mentioned the Bigfoot thing and you're in sort of cryptid territory, I will tell you, and it's great to actually talk to you because I don't know that we ever got a chance to talk with you about our time.
Yeah, we didn't get to tell her anything that happened.
You sent me a message though. You sent me a message and I was like, oh, I'm waiting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Because one of the things, and you mentioned the cryptids, and it made my mind go to one of the things that we kept seeing. So again, going back to Eric, we were all there, and him and I, as Nicole was under a session with the blindfold on and everything else, we were literally watching the best way to describe it. If you ever, there's an old rock and roll record by a band called Bush. It's called 16 Stone. Like on the back of it, there's this picture of one of those dogs that has like dreadlocks or whatever, kind of running around.
Yep.
It looked like one of those, but in the treetops, just going tree to tree. And we saw it over and over and over. Like, what is this? What is going on? And it was wild because the best way to describe it, I'm not going to call it Mothman, but that was the best way to describe it. You know what I mean? So it was very, very interesting. But Bigfoot, we didn't get anything like that. That would have been wild.
No, we didn't see a Bigfoot, but I do feel, because I know before the investigation, y'all had mentioned to us that you get a lot of like cryptid encounters, cryptid sightings, even like time slip type deal there, which was really, really interesting. And so I do feel that for us investigating at Octagon Hall, I feel like was kind of a pivotal like investigation for us in the sense that a lot of the things that we experienced there have now shifted the way that we like think about these things and look at these things so much, because it's just like, I don't know, there's one thing to like see a shadow person walking around or hear a REM pod go off or whatever, but it's something entirely different when you are seeing
there's another
things jumping from tree to tree and green orbs flying all around in the sky.
Because I think Eric has traces of that on a picture.
Yeah.
Because one of the places we were seeing that happen, which again, it was all night. And the only way I can describe it is softball-sized glowing green balls,
yeah.
whatever. And they're
Right.
literally just like kind of going around. We would see them and be like, what the hell? And you would see them just dart. Eric would pretty sure has one because he had a picture of when he, I guess, had seen one or something, and you see this like tail
Yeah,
of
on the
it,
back of the house.
which was super interesting.
And now
Have you-
and that's kind of cool because one thing, okay, so I have a new shirt coming out for my Wicked Woman Paranormal, and on the back,
Wicked
it
Woman.
says,
Love it.
it says Orb, the new moist.
Oh my
Because
I have to get one of those. That's amazing.
because but if you saw them with your eyes, you see what I'm saying? They're
Yeah.
legit.
Oh yeah, they're not. They
They're-
certainly weren't. We are not the kind of orb girlies that you would typically see, where you get like a weird looking thing in a photo. Seeing them in with your own eyes, that is
Mhm.
something completely different. And they were green, and it was multiple times throughout the
Right.
night.
That's why I'm excited because that's one thing Bear always talked about. If you see them with your own two eyes,
Yeah.
and you catch them on a photo, yo, you got a spirit orb. That's
Oh yeah.
no joke.
Oh yeah. I mean, no, that place is just wild. I mean, we had some wild experiences, and we're gonna start at the beginning, but I also just want to like preface it with the very end because this place is so amazing, and it was a pivotal time for us because I'll never forget, as long as I live, all of us getting in the hair mobile
Mhm.
and we're leaving. And I look up and I bring y'all's attention to it. We all see it in that top window. I don't know. It's like in a bedroom, I guess, you're seeing as you're driving out. There's a figure just waving by to us. And it was interesting. And for people that are listening that like to go to these places and do this kind of thing, keep in mind, we were on a trip and going to what is a bucket list place for a lot of people. And it was wonderful. Waverly Hills, paled in comparison.
Oh yeah. Octagon Hall. If we lived closer, we definitely would be those people that we would be there like once a week. Be like, all right, Beth, we're coming.
I'd be coming for your job. No, we loved it. But so let's start there at the very beginning. We get there and we hear the woman singing right away, and that to me was interesting because the disembodied voice I've heard at a few different places, and it is oftentimes a woman singing. I don't know. It's like the humming.
And I can validate that for you because that happens a lot out there. When you play music out there, they love music. And there was a group recording there. I can't put all their stuff out yet because it's not out. But we're walking down the path to the slave cemetery, and it's a cameraman, not an investigator, a cameraman. He pulls his headset off and he's like, "Did you say my name?" They're like, "No." Well, somebody just said my name in the headset.
Huh.
And they have it. They got it. They caught it. And then he started hearing, he goes, "Who's humming?"
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
Which is interesting because I distinctly, vaguely almost remember doing that at Wasika.
Distinctly vaguely.
Yep. I like to keep you on your toes. Distinctly vaguely. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it goes well together.
Yeah, I think so. There you go. Thanks, Beth. But here's the thing. So we first get in there, and right off the jump, I'm wildly just infatuated with the amount of historical artifacts that are there. It's wild stuff. And you got this, we call Harriet the Hand. You got the great picture of her up there, and she's awesome. But you're taking us through the house, and I'm sure you remember this. I definitely remember it.
I'll never forget it.
There it is. We walk upstairs, I guess, and I can't remember the room we were in, but it was the room that we got that EVP in later.
The bedroom.
Yeah, and the only way to describe it is your chest feels tighter. It's pressure. It's, I don't know, something sitting on there, like
felt like you were having a heart attack. Yes,
I suppose. Which is interesting because I don't know if you'd said it prior to that or after, but doesn't that happen? And of course, to men specifically, it's always,
she had said it afterwards. Yeah. So what's the story on that, Beth, in that room? Because I think I remember you had said that it happens to men specifically.
It does, and it probably followed you in because there is what we call a male figure that is out on the property and he makes men feel like they're having a heart attack.
Why?
I want to know too.
Like, bro, chill out. You know?
Yeah.
Wow. So,
And that was the green room upstairs.
oh, nice synchronicity, green. But I hit the ground. I was on the ground, and I'll never forget your voice. It was so caring, it was so kind, but also very matter of fact. But you almost whispered basically in my ear, soft, kind of, if we don't get this under control, I'm gonna have to take you out.
Yeah.
All right, I got this. And I finally came out of it. But the rest of the night, I didn't have that feeling.
That was me getting you to help yourself.
There you go. There you go. I'm not very good at that. But do many people? I mean, obviously they do, because you have that sort of theory that this happens to men there or whatever. How often does that happen, I guess, is the best question.
It all depends on the energy of the property at the time and the energy of the person that's in there. I've had people during the daytime, grown men, run straight out the back door.
Oh, wow.
I have people that get affected, and I'm like, okay, let's just go outside. Let's walk through the grass. Let's ground you and take you back in. But then there's the people, we're respectful. We're respectful people. And, you treat spirit just like you treated them when they were alive. That's all there is. There are people that come in and their mind is set on provoking. And you don't have to say it. You can think it.
Yeah.
And then people get dropped. But, it happens every now and then.
Interesting. And do you think it's nefarious? So my question is interesting, because this is a phenomenon that happens places, and we've even talked about this, that, it is something that you kind of worry about sometimes. But I think I have to wonder, is it meant to be negative, or is it our body responding to something that is so foreign to it, that maybe it just causes that? Or do you think it is like intentional?
I think sometimes it's not intentional. I think they are, like, for instance, I got stabbed in the eye.
Sorry, stop. What?
I got stabbed in the eye.
Okay.
In the basement. There were witnesses to it.
Wow.
We were in the fucking basement. You got stabbed in the eye there?
I got stabbed in the eye by a spirit who he took responsibility for it a couple of times, because he got me twice. He got me once in the basement and once in the dining room.
Oh my God.
And I leave. I get a phone call. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm trying to go to bed. What's going on? Are y'all good? Did y'all get locked out? No, we just got an EVP saying I stabbed Beth.
Oh my God.
No way.
And I said, go deeper into that. Who were you talking to? Do you know? They were like, yes. Now I already know who did it, so I want to see. They're like, it's a soldier. Okay. The next night, so another team comes. They call me the next morning. Who's Brett? He's a soldier. And he says to tell you he's sorry. He was, and then so of course I go in and do my own investigation, and we ask, if he'll come through. He was just trying to get my attention. He wasn't trying to hurt me. Like, at first I was like, why does this spirit not like me? But then he came through and he said he was just trying to get my attention, and he was sorry he hurt me.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to try to get your attention next time you're ignoring me. I'm going to take that Civil War sword of Eric's, and I'm going to stab you right in the eyeball with it.
I think we're going to reverse that, or that's Civil War sword's going to be used for some decapitation.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. We can't get you a wooden head, buddy.
I'll be Damien the Head. It'll be great.
Nearly headless Damien, like Harry Potter.
Well, that is an amazing story. And I do have to say, for the listeners, one of the, I don't know how many months after we visited, you and I specifically would find every opportunity to revisit this memory and laugh about it. This story of Harriet, who again we call Harriet the Hand, after her husband had died, she like literally went and like
Oh yeah.
unburied him, and she's like, "You're not gonna be buried next to your first wife," and
Yeah.
like moved him. I just thought that the ultimate flex.
I'm obsessed with that. I'm like, yeah, big Harriet energy. We're here for it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, she was salt and sass, and I still think to myself all the time. I know I told y'all, what was left of him? I mean,
yeah.
he had been in the ground since 1866, and it's 1920.
Yeah.
Probably just bones at that point.
Just a
I
few little
guess.
remains here and there.
Yeah,
And
just a
she
little.
didn't care. She's hard as nails.
Yeah.
She's hard as that nail that got stuck in her hand. Anyways, so okay. So that has happened to some people. Now,
Yes.
do you typically find that it is the people that come in with the provocation mindset, or does it just typically happen, as you say, maybe like to someone like me that's kind of in there, and then just it happens, and then nothing after?
Sometimes. I mean, I've had people that have had an experience kind of like yours, not that intense, but it was enough to make them think that they just wanted to leave the property.
Mm-hmm.
But they stayed, and it was smooth sailing after that. But like I said, things go in and out of the house. That's just like for us being who we are. Some people we don't really care for. Some people we don't get along with.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they may not like us, like our energy,
Mm-hmm.
or they know something. So we all carry our ancestors with us. And then think about it. Like I tell people all the time, I see dead people in Walmart. So I'm I'm just saying, you never know what you're going to find in Walmart.
No.
But it's one of those situations where you don't know what you may pick up and take somewhere with you, and they may not get along with that.
That makes that's something we've actually never thought about. Something that's with us, we show up, and it's kind of like, we got invited, but we end up bringing our asshole friend with us.
Yeah.
And everyone at the party's like, dude,
invited themselves.
somebody stabbed this fuck in the eye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because there's hitchhikers. Like I call them hitchhikers.
Oh, we know very well about hitchhikers. Oh, yeah.
You've had a friend or two come home that you didn't want to come home.
Or 200. Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes people will come to, I've been at multiple locations on staff. So I've been at multiple locations where you kind of, if you're there enough, you know what's supposed to be there and what's not supposed to be there. And sometimes they drop it off. That's why you have to be very careful who you let in your house, because you don't know what they're bringing to dinner.
This is why people stopped inviting Nicole and I to their homes.
Oh, I'd have y'all everywhere.
We bring ghosts.
we certainly do. As a matter of fact, our recent trip, we were in Illinois, and a couple of the people that had watched our animals here when we were gone, I think had some weird shit. Maybe had something follow them.
Yeah.
So, we do. We like to administer what we call the STD, the supernaturally transmitted disease.
Yes.
So,
my Serenity Jenny talks about that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she does.
That's amazing. Okay, how many times have you properly investigated the house, just by yourself or with a team or whatever? And what kind of things typically happen for you there? Because I can tell you, we definitely had the experience we just talked about. We got an EVP in that room, but it was not like a voice EVP. It was like a door opening and closing type deal. It was weird.
Yes.
But the wildest thing was we were in the basement, and talk about provocation. Nicole goes in the war room or whatever.
Okay, I was not provoking. I was telling them the truth.
Yes, well, if you think about a guy from back then down in the war room, and little Miss Thang comes down, and she's like, I'm a woman. I'm down here. I'm going to tell you what's what.
Well, I did not do that.
You're liable to get stabbed in the eye.
You went in the library. Okay.
Yeah, that because you said that was the one, or the strategy room where they didn't allow women in there. And my, normal day job, I do marketing strategy, so I'm saying that I'm like, what do you think about them apples, Yeah.
And it was interesting. That room didn't do much for us, but what did was the other room to the right there by the stairs, I think it is. Because we, around that time, we were doing a ton of work with radios. Well, we still are. And all three of us heard this happen, but we got a really really amazing direct response out of a shortwave radio that said Nicole's name for us twice in a row. Can you say her name? I said, Nicole, like that. And then you hear me react because I'm a crazy person. And I say, can you do that again? Nicole. Well, we get back home, and keep in mind, all three of us heard that, you know, and when we get back, the word is not there, but the consonants is basically, there's a static that goes like that. So it said Nicole, and it was kind of a wild thing to have.
That's kind of cool, actually. I mean, it's still interaction. It's still something you can validate.
Yeah, well, and it's funny though, the amount of times that happens to us, and I imagine tons of other people. But we have recordings of things. One of our hitchhiker friends, as an example, this whistling thing that follows us. Well, there's been so many times we'll pull out our phone to show someone a video clip that has the audio on it, and it won't play. Just the audio won't play, and we get away from that person, and we can listen to it again. And that's happened several times.
Well, it also happened with some of the lights, the light green orbs that we were seeing outside. Yeah. We had a video because it was wild. They were like, okay, I guess I shouldn't say orbs at this point because we also started seeing them in the sky, and it would be like here, and then like do this, and then like disappear, and then pop up here, and it was like crazy. And we did get a video of it at one point, and we watched it back right then because I remember being like, I just want to commit this to memory, what this looks like, because it happens so often that when you go back to review things, it's not there, or it looks or sounds so different. And yeah, when we went back to watch it, I think it was the next day, the lights they're just like barely visible.
Yeah, and they were all over. It was something else. That play, and then of course we leave, and then there's the waving person upstairs,
right?
Which happened, I guess, twice on that trip, getting waved at.
So to remind you of the question that you had asked, Beth, was if you had to give a guesstimate, like how many times have you investigated at the location, and what are some of the common experiences that you've had there?
I lost count a long time ago. To be perfectly honest with you. But my favorite people to investigate with, of course, are the NightStalkers, who've investigated it more than anyone. But there is a paranormal research investigations group out of Chattanooga. They've been investigating the hall for over 20 years. And they come sometimes 3 times a year, sometimes 1 or 2, but they stay 2 nights. And man, you get the best evidence with them. And I was with them this weekend, and some of the things that are very, very common, little Miss Emma, she likes to come through and talk. Things being moved. I had a solo cup of Jolly Ranchers thrown across the women's parlor.
Oh my God.
One night, which was interesting. And I was in the dining room, and all I did was knock and say, "Can you do that?" And you hear the cup go, and then boom. So it was like, I went knock, knock. It went boom. And I was like, okay, that's cool. It's getting more and more frequent with the full body apparitions that walk past between the dining room and the men's parlor while you're giving tours. It's a particularly one man. People just getting the whispers in their ears. Then there's just the audible. But I'm so glad you brought up that other thing about when you show people and you go back and you replay.
Yeah.
And Bear always, we used to have this big discussion. I'm glad somebody else thinks about it. Like, they change.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And I'm glad that you and Bear would talk about that. That's one thing I do regret, is not being able to have that time to sit with him and kind of chew the fat about this stuff, because you could tell behind that sort of very like laid back exterior, there's probably a whole wealth of knowledge. And I don't know. It happens all the time. We'll see things change in pictures, in videos, in audio recordings, and I think it's the same thing as when your equipment just fails. Right. They can manipulate that somehow.
Yeah. I mean, at Brushy Mountain, did an investigation. I had 6 of my own cameras going, phones, video cameras, the whole 9. And there were, I think in total, we had 19 running video cameras.
Oh, wow.
We saw them all in unison
Wow.
rewind and erase off every device we had.
Whoa.
We watched every single one of them in unison do it.
Yeah. That is something that we experience so often. And it's funny because since it's not like this inherently, I don't know, extreme or sort of call it scary paranormal experience, whatever. It's certainly not a big 10-foot Sasquatch running beside you on a 4-wheeler, but like it is so compelling because it almost feels like, and we've had things come through and tell us this, they don't like it when you live stream. They don't really like it when you're just like trying to get a video of them, like, because it takes away the experience too, for you. So I don't know what that is, but it happens, and it happens often, and it kind of sucks because, it'll ruin your gear sometimes. We've lost gear that way.
Oh, yeah. We've lost digital recorders, 2 Tesla coils, REM pod, 2 SB11s.
Yeah. 2 SB11s. Yeah, that's right.
Good grief.
Yeah,
and that ain't cheap.
No.
I know. I get mad at them every time. I'm like, y'all better start apporting money on this freaking table if you're going to keep killing our equipment. That is not cheap.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool too. Like, yeah, the big experiences are great. Okay. They are. But it's the everyday little ones that mean the most to me.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about it, right? If I take a video at Octagon Hall and I get home back here to Texas and it is manipulating that footage here, there's something interesting there because it's not like it's just there at Octagon Hall and now no longer has anything to do with me,
Right. I mean, I've seen too much that, and I don't believe in coincidences anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I just say, well, yep, that happened. I've seen people get stuff and they take it home, and I watched it with them, at the hall. And I'm like, great, that's a great piece of evidence. We both watched it. And then they call me, it is totally different. What?
Yeah, that happens.
They're like, no, now there's like 4 EVPs. And I'm like, well, yeah, but we listened to and watched it. Okay.
So, did y'all have any theories as to why that happens or what's going on with that, since you mentioned that y'all used to talk about that often?
No, and he would still tell you today, if you could find somebody to explain to him, because, he was an investigator for over 47 years.
Mm-hmm.
If you could find somebody to tell him how exactly an EVP is generated, he wants to know. But there's no one that can actually tell us how that works.
No.
Mm-hmm.
And they also can't tell us how it doesn't work. It's one of those interesting things. Like, you got so many people that are, I don't even want to use the word skeptic because they're further than that, but they will
debunkers.
They'll discount everyone. Now, look, EVP and ITC work, that's really my heavy area of research into this whole deal that we do. And there's too much wild things that people don't even realize. Here's a great example. There's a group that I'm really into. I like people do weird experiments. Well, they were trying something with the way fish communicate and wanting to record those frequencies of the fish. So they're underwater recording with mics that will get those frequencies, and they're getting EVPs that were related to the fish. Like it's wild. Okay. So weird things like that. And they were not there audibly at the time because they have things down there testing that and they can't hear it, and it's on their recording. I don't know. I know that a lot of them can be definitely looked at and you can say, oh, that's debunked because of this or whatever, but there's not ever been any conclusive proof that is why that they're not real, if I'm wording that correctly.
Right. Well, I mean, and here's my thing. I have a friend, and I tell everybody at this point, like, we sleep with recorders on if we're at a location. I mean, we constantly have a recorder in our hand. Let me tell you something. This girl, her name is Vicki Norris, and she's like my sister. She gets the best recordings in the bathroom while she's peeing.
Oh, wait, hold on. Is it when, this will sound weird, but is it when the noise of the stream is hitting the water?
No, it's normally after she's done using the restroom or right before, as she's, undoing her pants or something, or washing her hands.
Are they similar, or are they just
They're
EVP?
different things. One that she had was amazing. Like you could hear she was in a jail and she went to the restroom, and it's an inmate. Like you can tell it's an inmate by the things they're saying.
Dang.
Hmm.
That's interesting. Yeah, I know. So, well, just so people don't think you're a weird
But I
creep.
see where
We were
you're going with it. No,
we
no,
were you were asking
Yeah.
about that because we have toyed around with
Well, I'm
water,
actually-
using water as the white noise
Yeah,
source.
and I was
Right.
diving down some stuff today, and actually after this, when we go back downstairs, at the kitchen sink, I'm gonna do some recordings.
But I saw where you were going with that. I didn't think it was
Yeah.
weird at all because think about it. Water's a conduit.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, yeah. So much so, I'm so into that idea that so I used to for a good while. I was experimenting with this idea of EVP work, recording the sounds of the faucet in the kitchen sink, like the spray part, and I was getting very interesting things. And I was looking at a lot of people that are using that specifically as their source of white noise, and they were getting very compelling things. But I wanted to go further. That we've recently gotten ourselves a waterproof contact microphone that we've yet to really dive into. But that idea of water, you're right. Because a lot of the EVP researchers that I look at, they say that they get their best EVPs in like river towns.
Well, yeah, and this is I was just thinking as y'all were talking about this, to your point, Beth, of water being a conduit, something that we've found time and time again is any of these old like mineral wells towns, mineral springs towns, like obviously
Right.
Minerals, Texas, but Eureka Springs, Arkansas, they always have such crazy activity. And it's always people when you start talking to the people who live there, they're like, oh yeah, it's pretty much the whole town, like you can go anywhere
Right.
down here and it's out, so do you know in Franklin and under Octagon, are there like water systems underneath?
There's a well at Octagon for sure.
There are. So I don't want to use Brandon's word, but I'm going to give him credit. So Brandon Alvis talks about the elements of a haunting. So at Octagon Hall, you got to remember, Kentucky's the strangest state in the whole damn country.
No
built
wonder
on
we
a
love it so much.
Cave
Mhm.
system. It's all on a cave system.
Oh, that it is, isn't it?
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Now, the cave system that we are built on runs into Mammoth Caves.
Mm.
We're on 1.5 ton hand carved limestone foundation, and there's
Oh, geez.
what I call a sinking creek water source that runs right underneath the hall.
Oh,
Yeah. See, there's something to that, and
there it
I think
is.
there is enough research into that. I guess enough times where that has been a case that there's got to be something to that.
Well,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
about 10 miles away is Lost River Caves.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's in Bowling Green, and you take the boat into the water through the cave.
All right. Yes, that sounds radical.
Yeah,
I
that
want to
sounds
go in
super
there with the
cool.
recorder and do an EVP session. Just let it record and see what comes out. Like that would be
Right.
interesting. It's nice when to get back
Great.
there.
Now
Yeah.
you got me on the whole like scientific experiment, and I don't do all that. I'm like,
Go-
okay, I need 10 quartz crystals, a
Yeah.
jug of water, and
Oh no, we are those people. So what was it last month? I think it was, and I'm like a crazy person. Like Nicole, can you go make some moon water for me? Because she's the house witch. Why do you want moon water? Well, I want to record it. And I liked the idea of recording this. We harvested water from Eureka Springs and we brought it
Yeah.
home because I wanted to try to do that.
right.
No, that is our thing. So next time that we are up there investigating, you ought to just hang at the house with us because we do weird experiments. Like I find the weirder the experiment and the more off the cuff it is, the better
Right.
things can be. And I think it is the creative act that does that. I think it's an artistic thing. And I think that creativity allows some kind of a connection. I could be wrong. I don't know.
No, I dig it because here's the thing: everybody can't just keep doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to
Correct.
think outside the box. Like, think about us. If say we only had one TV channel and all they played all day long was the Little Rascals. Hell no.
Good movie.
You're gonna be
That-
over it real quick.
Like, that's like, we're just going to sit there and be like, well, hell, here we go again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like give them something new. Give them something creative.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and what's interesting is my looking at the EVP and the ITC sort of world. Audio is so huge, and when you really get away from the paranormal for a second and you look at audio as a whole and the effect it has on us as people. So it's funny, I was reading this today. Walt Disney and his people, the Imagineers, when they were working on some film back in the day, they recorded a sewing machine at a slower speed than usual, and they played it through the park. People were sick for weeks.
What?
Yes, sick for weeks. You've got infrasound, you've got ultrasound. These are things that we can't hear, but they absolutely affect us. You've got the ghost note, which is it was just a basic box fan that was going, and it created a frequency that caused a scientist in his lab to see an apparition. Okay, and then he did studies, and he found out it was from the vibration of that fan. It caused a frequency that made this happen. So we play around with frequencies in our work all the time, whether it's putting it out on a speaker to put it in the room, because this is how powerful it is at concert halls. They'll go in and they'll blast it with pink noise to get rid of anything else that's there and make it a more pleasing audio experience for the people coming into the show. Audio, there's something there, and the fact that they do EVPs, that they do come through radios, that, I mean, think about even a knock on the wall. That's a vibration,
Right.
you know? So
And-
who knows?
And it's cool because like my new obsession is the colors of noise.
Okay, you're cooking my bacon already, Beth. You're cooking my bacon. What's going on with the colors of noise? Come on.
I don't know. It was something that was brought up to me, and they didn't tell me everything. It was an experiment.
Yeah.
And so apparently we're going to get back together and talk about it. But he was like talking about, yeah, well, what it does is we bring this color in, this color. And I'm sitting there going, noise has colors? Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Like,
Who is this? Who is this person?
I'll get you his information.
Please. I immediately want to talk to him.
It sounds kind of like
Synesthesia?
yeah, like synesthesia.
But it was kind of cool. I think I have his information because I was so mind blown. And then he would play different things and ask me, well, are you seeing anything differently? How do you feel? Or can you communicate better with this? And I'm like, okay, I dig it. I do find out I don't like red. Red is not good for me.
Shit, I'm wearing a red shirt.
Go change. Go change.
I was like,
I'll wear red when we show up next to Octagon Hall.
Well, you're fine in the red shirt. It was the color of red noise.
The red tone.
Red noise. When we get off this call, I'm immediately going to go in there and dive into that. I think that's very
this is going to be, thanks, Beth. Now he's going to be up until 3 a.m. And this is, it's going to be 1:45. Nicole, did you, I found this thing.
Right.
And they're saying, I'm like, oh my God.
Well, now, let's keep in mind, like, that is the nature of our life. So not to put it back on you, but this wasn't long ago. I was asleep in the bed or whatever. And you just burst in the room. You're like, the brubs are outside. I'm like, what time is it? And you pulled me out of bed to go look at UFOs in the sky. They were there.
The brubs were out.
They were out. But it's just a funny existence, So yeah, the color. So he's playing you frequencies, and is he getting you to think of a color based on the frequency that you're listening to? Is that what's going on?
I wasn't looking. He had computers and everything, and he was playing it was different frequencies, and then he was telling me it was a color.
Okay.
And I was like, wait, noises? I'm like, frequency has color? Like, it's a whole thing. And I have so much going on, I can't go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. I will always be that rabbit holer for everybody. Yeah, I can do that for sure. I will remind you until I get that guy's information, because that is someone I want to talk to. That is someone who is taking interesting ideas and running with it. And I have to ask myself, like, let's say that whatever it is that we all are interacting with, right? None of us, I guess, can say definitively, like we can, but we can't, right? Like with enough experiences with a thing, you can definitively say what you think it is, but you can't really. But it's interesting to me if we take the idea that it's a intelligent sort of being and he's been there, they've been there for however long. Can you imagine how quickly you would just be annoyed with, damn it, there's another group in here asking me what my fucking name is and having me like touch some glowing thing. And like,
Right.
I find that compelling. Like, I don't know. But we've done this with singing bowls even, and it caused things to start to pop off. Vibration, man. There's something there.
Singing bowls ain't no joke. And then sometimes we'll play a frequency. We're very careful about the frequencies we play in the house and on the property. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it does not amp up activity, because it does.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, it's interesting that you say that there are certain frequencies that you won't play. What's the deal with that? I'm assuming you've found that when you play these certain frequencies, like bad things will happen.
You get stabbed in the eye, Nicole.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't do it. I have not done it at the hall, and I would never do it at the hall. But we have been to a couple of different locations, and we've played lower frequencies. And let's just put it this way: what we encountered was not pleasant. It was on the more negative side of spirit, and then we switched it up, and it was much lighter. So
okay,
it's very interesting, and there's a million ways
this just
that you can run with that.
Well, this just jogged for me when we were doing our thing in Watsika this past weekend, where, everything started going downhill when you and I went in the basement and started investigating the tones. Because we have this it's like a soundboard thing that we use for investigations, and there's different dials for each of the different chakras to play that chakra's frequency, and you can adjust each one of them individually, and I've been using that instead of
it also has the white noise or pink noise.
Yes. So I've been using that instead of a spirit box and doing kind of like Estes-like sessions with that.
With great results.
But I had the upper ones turned off, and it was all the lower ones that I had jacked all the way up.
Oh, really? That is interesting.
Whoops.
That's interesting.
Whoops. Sorry.
No, it is something we play with. I mean, it's a cool little device. And I remember looking at it and thinking, okay, this is something I can get creative with. And it is. It's just a little circuit board, and it's got the different chakra frequencies, and you can tune them in how you want. You can mix and match. And the more you mix and match, the little third eye starts to glow on it. It's kind of cool. And
is that the one you can put crystals on as well?
No. This is not something that is was ever, I think, intended for paranormal research, but this guy that makes these synths, I found him because he was making these detuned radios that I wanted to use, and they become some of my best investigative tools. But I just knew I could use it, so we did. I'm surprised we've not talked about this on the podcast much, and I think it's because it is so new yet. We've not really got our grasp on it. But instead of putting on the SB7 or something, we'll put Nicole under, just like you're doing an Estes session, but we have her under the tones, and I will sit there and mix with the tones, this and that, and she'll start getting things coming through. So we're getting really good results with that, and there's no radio sweep or anything.
And that's cool. Like, that's something I would like to try, because I can't go under with white noise.
Why?
I trance out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And and I don't really so a lot of people, it's like what I say, it's all fun until the rabbit's got the gun.
Yeah.
So people are like, oh, you should do this, you should do that. I'm like, look, channeling is not something, it's not something you want to do all the time. You have to be very controlled. And it's like allowing a walk-in.
The synchronicities of even bringing that up are really wild.
Well, give her the quick too long didn't read of why we've said oh, that's synchronicity, that's relevant.
Yeah, well, I mean, we are going to talk about a lot of this, and it's probably going to end up being like a 3-hour episode of really going down this thing that happened. But it all started with, I'd found this synchronicity after synchronicity had led me to this book. And it was this investigative journalist who set out, this is in the 80s, to write a book on channeling. So he spent time with these channelers and was going to their sessions. And long story short, this ended up being a 5-year research. Now, you and I, and we all know that an investigative researcher, like a journalist who's not a paranormal investigator, is going to be a better paranormal investigator than a paranormal investigator, because they're literally... Yeah, they're researchers, and they're looking at it from a different point of view, which is, I'm here to observe and say this happened. Boom. Anyhow, one of these channeling sessions, there was a being that came through, and it was apparently his guide or whatever. Long story short, he basically had found that they would say some information that was right, that could be verified. Now, keep in mind, this is back in the 80s. So
Right.
there was no internet or fancy feature phones to get on, like these, channelers would know this information.
Right.
The channeler in question was someone who had leukemia, who hated all of this, who thought the paranormal was just silly, and her entire library was all science books. And she was like, this is stupid. But she had someone go hypnotize her to help with the leukemia. And then it started happening. Her channeling, though, according to all these witnesses, was very distinct, very real, other voices coming through her, which
Right.
I do find compelling. Anyways, he went out and he did something that not a lot of people do when they get information from a paranormal source. He literally flew to Greece to go like verify all this stuff. Turns out it was a big goose chase. And he goes back to the channel and he confronts this being and he goes, I know you lied to me. I know that you're a real being, but why did you do that? And the second he did that, they started becoming agitated in him and angry. And when he stopped the whole thing, because he wanted to get away from it, they would not leave him alone. He said for years they were just following him, and he ended up killing himself. He ended up throwing himself off a cliff.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's kind of a wild way to do it, but but everyone that knew him was like, no, dude, like in the last years of his life, he was like, these things, they're not done with, they won't leave me alone. They keep coming to me and this and that, and they were mad at him from the jump. I've seen this in EVP research where people will start doing EVP sessions. They'll start, and like all of us, you're getting your basic stuff. It kind of doesn't mean anything. Maybe it's just a word here or there. Maybe it's relevant. Maybe it's intelligent. But then you start getting the stuff that'll start being obscene, right? And I experienced this
Right.
when I was doing my sessions nightly. It does. It literally starts in a good place, and then after a while, you're like, whoa, why are these things saying, like, dropping F-bombs on me and telling me they're going to like hurt me, or they'll say things like you're going to die in this state, or other people have had experiences where they get them to like leave their spouse. It's just wild. So I don't know. I have to wonder. I don't know, maybe really think about things in a different light. And we don't have it on this episode to go through because it would take so long. But I'm at this weird place because literally coming to that realization, mentally saying it to these beings like, hey, I know what you are. And you're constantly just, presenting yourself as something I don't think that you are. You're just lying to me.
Correct.
Why? And I felt that it was mad. Well, fast forward a couple days, maybe a week, we're in Watsika, Illinois. I have an experience that proved that this thing is not happy with me now. And won't get into it just yet because it is a big, long story. Nicole calls it a possession. I just called it a spiritual attack. There you go.
Wow.
So that, I don't know. Have you ever had anything like that happen?
I think that's where I differ from a lot of people. But there's a lot of people like me. We never, even doing what she and I do, when we connect, we don't always really know what we're communicating with.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
That's the truth of the matter, though.
That's a real dog, right?
Yes, I'm sorry. Okay. He's mad. He wants in the office.
Yeah.
That's 100-something pound dog. Yeah, he's a big boy. It's Bear's dog, and this I'm in his office.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I love that.
I'm in his office, so there's no telling what you might hear in here. But I'm very honest, and I'm very logical about it. You've got people that, I'm an expert. There are no experts in the paranormal field.
Correct.
There are experts on theories.
Yeah.
That I will agree to. That's like me saying, this is the most haunted place in the universe. It might be the most haunted for me, but it might not be the most haunted for someone else. Mm-hmm. I might go somewhere else and be like, whoa, holy crap. But we don't truly know.
That's right. I'm so thankful to hear other people say that. And we talked about this on a podcast episode recently, but we were speaking at an event not long ago, and I brought that very simple, logical fact up, and I am very typically not logical. So I got chastised for that one, right? For saying you don't know what you're dealing with. So, maybe if someone comes through and says, yeah, I'm the ghost of this person's grandpa, I don't know. You don't know. So it could have other reasons that we just don't. It's funny that we take everything from the spirit world at face value, yet we're so untrusting of humans. It's like, what the hell? This is an invisible entity, and you just trust everything it says.
Right. And here's
That's
my
stupid.
thing. As a medium, okay, so I'd consider myself an evidential medium. So if I'm giving you the evidence, I don't know your relative. If I don't know you, I don't know your relative. Now, if I'm giving you the right information, okay, then we can kind of rule that out. But when we're communicating in other ways, we don't know. We don't know who's giving us an EVP. We don't know who's running up and speaking in our ear. We don't know. So some people are way too trusting. And then that's when they get overtaken.
Yeah, or they go sell courses. But it's funny you mentioned that, the whispering in the ear. Yeah, look at that. She almost fell out of the chair. No, and I get a little salty on these people. I do, but it's funny. When we got back from our trip, things were weird. Whatever was not happy with me then was there with us when we got home. And Nicole goes in the bedroom, bringing her suitcase in, whatever, and you heard me.
Yeah, I heard it was your voice behind me whispering my name loudly, Nicole. And it's funny because I am like notorious for, like I don't react to things. I'm just very like, okay,
Right.
and you are the exact opposite.
I'm the drama queen of the group.
We joke all the time. We have, like 2 Nicole reactions ever caught on video. Well, this was the third one, because I have pet cameras, to monitor, and it will start recording if there's like motion or something like that. And it happened to catch it. And you see me, I like turn around really quickly because I knew logically that I was in there alone. I knew the door was closed. I knew you weren't in there, but it just like startles you, and your brain, of course, is immediately going to go to like, oh, is he in here? But you're not. So
that's the thing. I mean, I've heard your voice when I was solo in a location. That was one of the wildest experiences ever. I've heard my own voice come through a S box, which caused a meltdown on my part. But that is weird to me because I know it wasn't me saying it. So it's like whatever this is must have certainly has the ability to get information about something that it's not and present itself as that. And I find that compelling, but I also find that the first time really in this field of looking into this, where I feel not scared like you might from a horror film, but I feel a real sense of like, oh, fuck, this thing, I really don't understand this. Like, you think you get a grasp on it, but you're like, actually, no.
You got to love a mimic. And I have dealt with mimics visually, audibly, and I'm just like, okay, this is not cool.
Well, when does it happen to you? Like, what were the circumstances around that?
We had Brandon and I were at the hall one day, and Cameron was up there as well. And I had went outside, and Brandon's standing at the door, and he's having a conversation with Cameron. Cameron's not there. Cameron's in the dining room.
That's so interesting.
I've had, when I knew, like, people were not with me, there were people with me, but just not these. And when I'm hearing them talk to me, and I'm like, no, they're 3 states over. Why am I hearing their voice? That whole thing's interesting. It goes back to...
were you able to find out those people that you were hearing their voice? Did you call them immediately? And the reason I'm even asking, were they asleep by chance?
I called them. They were at another location investigating.
Okay. Because I've always found it interesting. There's this group that I look at, and they have this theory that EVPs could be a product of living people's dreams, because we do have evidence of EVPs that have come through of living people, and they're typically sleeping when it happens. That is really wild to me.
Interesting.
I don't even know where to go with that.
I mean, what did you say? You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a bit wild. It is interesting though that they were at another location investigating, so I have to wonder if that had something to do with it too.
Well, it goes back to what I believe spirits can travel back and forth. We've tried the experiment
Mm-hmm.
where there's been like 4 of us and we're at 4 separate locations, separate states, and we will ask over spirit box or whatever we're doing, and they'll go back and tell them at another location. Like I'll say, for instance,
That's a great experiment.
tell me where so and so is, and they'll come back and they'll be like, bathroom or cell or bedroom, and I'll call them, where are you standing at right now? I was just in the bathroom. Oh, okay.
That is a wonderful experiment.
Interesting.
That's a wonderful experiment.
I need to do it again. I haven't done it in a long time.
That's really cool. I feel like that, to me, I'm just like, oh, that just kind of makes me feel like I've been on a big kick recently that I feel like the Bell Witch just told us how all of this works, you know, the whole like, oh, I've been here much longer than you. I'm kind of like all knowing. I can be everywhere at once and all those things, you know. I'm like, and how she would throw or send people on wild goose chases just because she wanted, you know, she thought it was kind of funny. I'm like,
paranormal does that too.
That happens all the time.
All the time. And even at the basic level, you'll be in a haunted location. You'll hear that noise from the other end of the house, and you go over there to look, and then you hear from the other end of the house, and you go back and forth and back and forth. And if it were me, like making these noises, I'd be sitting there like, these guys are idiots. Look at them run around. Like, what is that? What is that K2 meter? What is that? So I think that is so interesting to me because it makes me kind of have that same feeling I got when I first really realized and dove into this rabbit hole that, you know, and for anyone listening that likes to do this stuff, don't let anyone tell you that you need to go to a haunted location to get an EVP or get paranormal activity. No, that's a lie. That's to sell you some shit. You can sit in your living room and hit record on a recorder and don't say a word for 3 minutes, play it back, and you can maybe hear a voice. You can keep working and doing it. I've come to that understanding. Now, yes, there are going to be places that have specific things to them. The hall is one of them, you know, like these different places we go. But it's everywhere with us all the time. And it can seemingly be here and there instantaneously.
I've done stuff in Walmart. I ain't gonna lie.
We did too. We went to Galveston one time to go do the haunted Galvez Hotel, which was awesome. But I'd found out that there's apparently a haunted Walmart there. And we went in there because we're like, oh, we're going to a haunted Walmart. You couldn't go in the toy aisle.
Yeah, it felt real bad. And they can't even stay open past, I want to say it was like 8 p.m. or something now because of how bad the activity gets. And it scares people and they will leave and people will quit. And apparently the lights over on that, like in that area will just turn off and nothing they do will turn them back on. And yeah, so they literally, this Walmart, they close at a certain time now because the activity gets so bad.
Can you imagine like if that was handed down from corporate, like, all right, close the store down early, goddamn ghost. Well, they should have opened a Kmart and that would have solved everything.
Right. I mean, and my daughter, she used to work for Kroger and she would call me and I went to visit her and she was telling me while she was closing at night that the bread on the bread aisle would just fly off the shelves.
Oh my God.
So me being me, I go to visit and this is in the Bible Belt. I'm walking through there with a recorder, a K2, video camera on, talking to the bread.
That's amazing.
God damn it. You've got me beat then. You've got us beat. Like we like to think that if anyone's going to do something wild like that, it would be us. But no, you got us there. I'm going to start taking some of my pickup mics and sticking it to the bread in the grocery aisle and see if we can get some EVPs that way.
You never know. I think that's where we get, true. Think about it. Masons, they did everything with geometry.
Yeah.
So, you know, you've got the hall. It's on the 37th parallel. I think it depends on where you're at, like to the intensity. There's so many factors.
Can you explain that really quick? What do you mean by that? It's on the 37th parallel.
So ley line wise, so you've got Skinwalker Ranch is on the 37th parallel. It's the supernatural highway is what paranormal investigators call it. I just say it's all haunted. But the Giza line, I did a little bit of research. There's a lot of not necessarily Masonic temples, but meeting places that are on that ley line. There's a lot of, then we get into magnetic I'm gonna start talking about the square root of 251 and all that. I mean, it gets real.
I love that though, because there's got to be something to that. Like, yes, because there are certain locations for whatever reason are just out of sight. Right.
Like, I mean, Skinwalker Ranch blows my mind.
We just had a buddy that was there.
So yeah. I'm sitting there going, okay, the same things, some of the same things. So there's got to be something to it.
Maybe there must be. And that is interesting to me because, it's funny. People that have been doing this for a long time, they know that even just the things that we mentioned about Octagon Hall on this episode, the green orbs, the things flying from the trees, the woman singing, the disembodied voices, there's people that have been investigating for 30 years and haven't experienced any of that. So it must be one of those places. Most times you go to a place that's, the haunted, whatever, you might get an EVP here and there, you might generate some activity, but it ain't golf or softball sized green orbs. It's not things flying in trees. It's not anything that you would get at somewhere like Octagon Hall. So God, and my big challenge, even having you on and us even talking about it publicly, we wanted to gatekeep the shit out of that place because yes, a lot of people know about it, but it is still kind of like an in the know thing. We love that you vet groups. I hope you still do that. I mean, do you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. We love that. That was great. I mean, if we ever owned a haunted location that we were opening to paranormal investigators to come in, we'd probably never make any money because I wouldn't let anyone in.
Yeah. And the struggle is real. Like, there are so many great locations, and it is a shame that we have to be sometimes we have to be over the top with it because first and foremost, we're a historical location. And after dark tourism is what helps us keep afloat. Because we're nonprofit. We don't have any assistance. We're all volunteers. But we have to protect the integrity of the property. And we want people to, the way that Bear and Billy always wanted it, it was supposed to be a research center.
Yeah.
And you can go to the hall one day and the next day is totally different.
It's amazing. I have to. You mentioned his name again. It just popped in my head because I looked over and I'm looking right at the brick right now. And I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if this sounds disrespectful, but there's a piece of me that wants to use that item because it was this wonderful gift that he gave us. And I'll never forget that moment. But to try to talk to him.
He'll come through without you doing that. He goes where he goes. Yeah. We did have to get really serious with people because, Mama Bear, a lot of people kind of went a little off the wall, not just when he passed away, but when Billy Bird passed away. And they have relatives that are still living, and they were coming in there doing some, and I know another location or two, same thing. Their caretakers passed away and they've got living relatives and they're trying to go into the houses or the locations and elicit activity from them.
Yeah, there is a fine line. Nicole and I talk about this a lot. And it's funny because we saw an extreme example of, I think, what we are talking about here when we were inside of Waverly Hills, hadn't we? There was this group in one of these rooms and you walk up there and you hear what sounds like beeping and like doctors and running around. They're like, all right, clear, he's out. I'm like, what is going on? And you literally, one of their devices says, please go.
Please leave.
Yeah. And Nicole starts laughing. Anyway, when they come out of there, they're like, oh, did you guys see what we're doing? I was like, no, explain that to me. And they're like, well, apparently the ghost in here was someone who died during surgery. So we were like reliving the surgery. I'm like, dude, what? Like, why would you do that? That is.
I'm like, do you know how many people died at Waverly Hills on the table?
That's wild. And like, why would you, if you believe that this entity is there and it died on this table, pardon my language, why in the fuck would you make them relive that just so you can go jack off with an EVP that you show all your para buddies? Like, that makes me mad. That makes me mad. So, and then we went in there and we were how we are. We were respectful and we had a really good experience. It didn't tell us to leave.
It did not. It was very nice.
And that's it's all about respect. Like And then, you have to put things in categories. So you can't compare a residential to a hospital.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
You can't compare a tuberculosis hospital to an insane asylum.
Mm-hmm.
fair
You
enough.
you can't compare a haunted ranch to a haunted McDonald's.
Please find me a haunted McDonald's.
They're everywhere. Like I was telling you, not only did I do this in the Kroger, I have EVPs that I got in a Popeyes restroom.
Oh my God.
That's amazing. In the restroom? What is it with you and your group? Like, just go to the bathroom and getting EVPs.
It's
Like,
it's
Bathrooms
not.
always feel bad.
do they?
They can. I walked
Driscoll.
in.
They have a lot of shit.
Yes, they do. Driscoll, moonshines. I've had activity in those. Yeah, the bathrooms.
Wow.
Like one of my things is, and it's something that I've always thought about, and it's not just from being from Atlanta, but like I have a friend that I knew in high school. She was from Compton, California. She was 15 years old. She got shot. She still had the bullet lodged in her scapula.
Oh my God.
So I think she was always one person I thought about. Think about these high violence areas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, the loss, the tragedy, all that. I was in the Popeyes in the hood. And I walk in and I'm like, I got to wash my hands before I pick up this order.
Mhm.
And I walk in there and the lights start going. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I'm like,
Oh.
Yeah.
I walk out. I look at the manager. I'm like, hey, do y'all have problems with your lights in the restroom? She was like, better not. She was like, we've never. I was like, you sure? No short, no nothing. So I go in there, turn the light on, turn it back off. I walk out, go back in. Doo-doo-doo-doo. So I see a lady that has to go to the restroom. I let her go in. She comes out. I'm like, hey, ma'am, were the lights blinking while you were in there? She was like, no. I'm like, straight to the car.
Poor lady.
Straight to the car.
This poor lady comes out of the bathroom. She's just like doing her own thing, and there's now you like, excuse me. Lots of liquor in there.
I'm in there with 2 Zoom recorders, the door locked for like 30 minutes.
Well,
Oh my God, that's amazing.
think about it. We were literally just talking about river towns. Well, bathrooms, pipes of water, and the
yeah.
the flushing
Yep.
toilet, like the showers. Who knows?
That's true.
It
But
looks like that's an experiment we need to do, buddy.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna go to the bathroom after this, and I'm taking my recorder in there from now on. I'll send you recordings to go through.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
You can go through those yourself, my friend.
yeah. that is interesting. I know we're not going to name any names, and we've talked about something that apparently happened at Octagon Hall, and I want to know how much of this you deal with as someone who's there in a place. And we won't go into detail, obviously, because we not to call anyone out unless you want to, and then it'd be funny. But
No, I'm gonna be good.
yeah, exactly. Isn't that horrible to be good? But people going in and faking evidence. Has this been something that y'all have caught multiple times? Like, is that a problem you have to deal with?
Not a lot, really. Before me, they said maybe a couple of times they had some things, but one in particular situation stands out for me. When people cut themselves,
Yeah.
and I saw the video that looked like it required stitches.
Oh my God.
And then Bear found the knife that was used to cut themselves.
Jeez. Wasn't it like a Civil War relic, even like an artifact, or at least
it was
an
just
antique?
It was old. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
old. It wasn't Civil War, but it was
Okay.
It was
Hope-
old.
Hope they got their tetanus shots.
I'm hoping they've got lockjaw, but
Oh
I've at other locations that I've been at, I've seen it and heard it quite frequently.
Mm.
But
What about
it's
the idea of location owners faking phenomena?
I've heard about that. That's why we were always very cautious with just anything. That's why the haunted hall stopped, because, and I'm not picking on anyone. I understand people have to make their money where they make it.
Sure.
I truly believe if a location is haunted, you don't need to have a haunted attraction there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I believe it's disrespectful. And I believe it causes doubt on the location.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And well, and just the spirituality in general.
Yes.
You know, one bunk haunting seemingly debunks every other haunting ever, you know.
Right.
Which sucks because it will literally drive people away from finding anything spiritual in their lives. So it makes me really very, very agitated.
It's very sad. And I would like to say it's just but I can't. I know some younger generation teams that are superb. They are excellent. They are scientific, some of them, and they're good at what they do. They're respectful and they're serious. But then there's some older and younger that you just want to go, how did you, like, where did they find you at? Like, were you?
I've heard that a time or two.
It's. I just wish people could understand it is serious in nature, and we're all searching for the same thing. We want proof of the afterlife.
Yeah, it's interesting that the things that we are experiencing at these places, you know, when you really dive into the research, I mean, they've been happening forever. You know, this has been with us forever. So that is interesting to me. You know, one of the things that Nicole and I were talking about before we got on here with you is, you know, we know that you do the I guess you call it evidential mediumship, and you do you use that in your investigations?
Sometimes and then sometimes I can't help it. Like you know how you want to separate. I'm sure you understand how that goes, honey. You know, you want to separate. So I try to do both. But then something always happens and I'm like, crap, man, it just ruined everything.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom with my recorder. I'll be back. Yeah.
Right. I'm like, can we go to Popeyes too?
We got to go to Buc-ee's. We got to do it. Okay.
I'll go with you because you know I love Buc-ee's. So
look, Buc-ee's is our big thing.
Let's go road trip.
we that would be funny. Like, can you imagine? We actually did it. We filmed little clips for it. I'm not a TikTok person. I don't have it, but we were gonna get it right. And I was like, oh well, okay. I guess I can do some short form content. It's not really my jam, but I'll take an EMF meter into Buc-ee's and I'll be putting it up to the candy and see what I can get. And it was fun. Right. But you know, you imagine some guy that works there. He's like, okay, there's some people. They're walking around with these like flashing lights.
We're like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
But don't worry about it. It's my support tools.
Yes, that's support tools. So you mentioned that though, and it made me think of you, Nicole, because when you say you can't help it, you can't really turn it off or whatever. I know a lot of people like to say that they are in control of that. Well, Nicole here, we'll wake up and there'll be, no joke, 10 to 12 shadow people literally around the bed, crawling on the bed. This was happened a couple weeks ago, a month ago.
Longer than that.
And it's happened to you since when?
I mean, since I was a kid, yeah.
Yeah. Can you turn that off?
Well, I can't. I mean, I don't know. Those are shadow things. That's
it's
outside
same, I think
of
it's
me.
the same mechanism though, because it's someone that has those sort of natural medium ability. Like, do you see shadow people?
Sometimes.
Yeah. So can you? I don't think. Is there an ability to turn it off?
We can set boundaries.
Have you ever had them crossed?
Yeah, but it was angelic in nature. When that comes, you have no say so.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had no say so. I was just like, okay, I feel like I've been roofied.
All right.
Interesting.
And then if there is, for instance, like I tell people all the time, if I try not to do it in grocery stores or just walk up to people, but sometimes you can have a spirit come through, and if you don't say something when they want you to say something to their loved one, or they have a very serious message, they will harass you.
Oh yes, I have experienced that many times. Yep.
How? What does that look like? Like, what is that?
They will not leave. They won't leave me alone. Like, there's constant. Like, I've had times where And I didn't do it on purpose. It was just like I felt the person would not receive well by the things they were saying, how their energy felt. And I'm sitting here arguing with a spirit. Like, I can't do that. They're not
in a grocery store.
No, this has been several places.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not a good idea. Well, I don't say anything. I come home that night. There's stuff going nuts in the house, pots, pans, footsteps, the whole nine, or I don't get to sleep.
That is interesting. Is that kind of you similar?
Yeah, it's like, and that's how, we've talked before. Like I like to say, I keep it turned off most of the time. But exactly like you're saying, if somebody wants to say something, they're gonna say something. And
Right.
it will just be so like the very first time that happened to me was actually the very first time I read I guess not in like a development circle, and I was having a massage done. And the whole time I couldn't even relax because it was just this old woman in my head, just like in my face, in my face, in my face, in my face. And I was like, oh my God, can you please, like, not right now? Like, I'm trying to relax, I'm trying to get this done. And she just kept like coming and would not like get out of my head. Like it was literally like an obsession or like a fixation, but you cannot help it. Like it just won't go away. And so finally at the end, I ended up saying something to her. I was like, hey, like, I know this is like probably really weird, but like, would you be open to receiving, like, I just keep getting this image of an older woman. Like, is it okay if I describe, because I do evidential as well for if I'm reading people. And she's like, oh yeah, of course, and so I did it, and it ended with her crying. But I'm like, okay. But she did leave me alone after that, so that was good. But yeah,
Right.
like you were saying, the grocery store, and that's exactly how I was saying, like, before my therapist helped me figure out, like, oh, you have abilities. Those were always the worst for me. Grocery stores, walking
Really?
around Target, whatever.
Why?
Yes.
Just the people?
Well,
Like the amount?
There's so
yeah,
many people and the energy and
yeah. For me, would shoot my anxiety through the roof.
Disney World did nothing?
Well, I hadn't gone in a very long time.
Yeah.
Before then.
And here's the thing, she had a trigger too, because a lot of people, I'm a massage therapist as well.
Oh,
so
cool.
A lot of people don't understand about transference.
Yeah, that's something that's wild that you bring that up. Okay, yeah, you go into that. Yeah.
So, like, it's just, for instance, just like if we're doing a reading, okay, we can't do them when we're sick. We don't need to do them if we're emotionally distraught. Anything like that, because it can affect everything. It's the same thing when you let someone touch you. So you can't work on people when they're sick, because in turn, the transference, you will get sick. You can pick up. That's why you have to be very careful who you let touch you, who you let in your energy space, who you let lay hands on you is very, very important.
I gotta stop going to those late night raves.
Yeah.
That is interesting, the transference idea. And I like that you brought up the human to human transference as well, because I think it's so funny and so interesting that so many people will sit there and talk about how an invisible entity can push things on you or make you feel certain ways. But somehow normal humans can't, and very much so they can. And I think you can feel that same, you want to use the word energy, but you can feel that same energy, for lack of a better term, that you can in a haunted location, sometimes from a person.
Right.
So.
And then you got to remember, your energy field is 6 feet all around. Your aura, 6 feet all around.
Just do an interesting research. Now, I wouldn't know that it would be aura based, but it's groundbreaking. Basically showing that we are glowing. And they've done these studies and shown this hue around, and that when we die and plants and everything else, it just like it's gone.
Yep.
So I think
it's just like our weight changes when the soul leaves the body.
Yeah. What is that? I can't remember the exact amount, but yeah, it's like a certain.
I can't either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big girl, so
yeah.
I'm a big girl.
All that damn Popeyes.
my weight's like 5 pounds.
The weight of the soul. It's a heavy soul.
Yeah, it's heavy.
So is that what you think is going on though? Like with all of this, I mean, like brass tacks. You've been doing this for years. You've experienced these things. You're doing the mediumship, so you've got things coming through. Do you think that this is a case of as simple as it's ghosts, or do you think it's weirder?
Oh, it's always going to be weirder. Energy is a funny, funny thing. The soul is a funny, funny thing. And I don't think we'll ever have the answers
Until we're dead.
until we're dead.
Yep. Then we'll find out.
Yeah.
But the way, and I'm not trying to go down the conspiracy theory hole.
Oh, that's my hole.
It's not
weird thing to say.
Let me not go down your hole. That would be awkward.
Yeah. Especially through Zoom.
Right. I mean, like, it was a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
It's not a conspiracy if it's true, but there's so much going on spiritually. Everything going on in the world right now, it's not politics. It's spiritual
attack.
Spiritual warfare.
I agree with you 100%. It's the first time I've said it, I think, on this podcast, to be honest with you. But it has been as of late that I have been equating all of that to this. And you said something earlier that I caught on, and I wanted to sort of interject it and get you to talk more on it. But you'd mentioned noticing activity getting more prevalent or whatever as the state of the world just gets weirder. And yeah, I agree with you. Go off on that. Why do you think that?
Well, if you look at all the things that have been happening over the last few years, there are more people, and look, I don't want to get taxed on this. Let me use my amendments here. This is my thoughts and my thoughts only.
Mm-hmm.
I won't put that off just so everyone's listening. Just knows that Beth Allen's opinions do not reflect the same opinions on our show. People are becoming closer to their faith.
Yeah.
In masses.
Well, that's been shown. There's article after article about it. Yeah, the younger generation is going massively towards religion.
Yeah, they're coming, and in a way, like, okay, so I'm not a person that does organized religion. Okay, sure. I'm a spiritual person. I don't need anyone to help me talk to God. I can do that on my own. Mm-hmm. But you see a lot of people, especially in the last month, and some events that have happened. They are opening their Bibles. They are going to church. They are becoming more spiritual. They're more open to the things going on. They're more curious about energy, the earth's frequency. They're becoming more interested. So think about it. They say prayer is powerful, and when you come in numbers and a common goal, it's the powers that it's coming. We're switching into the next reality, or
the new age.
I mean, it's happening, and then you've got to remember there's chaos right now as well. So you've got you just don't know what you're going to get, and that's all pushing energy. And we're energy. We're all affected by energy. People don't, like, for instance, I don't know if Nicole, you went through this when you were younger. A lot of us that are more in tune and have different gifts, we struggle early in childhood and growing up, low self-esteem, surrounded by a lot of negative people. And I used to have this thing where I'm like, well, I don't understand why that person likes me. They don't even know me.
Really?
And I was like, well, what's that all about? The more I've learned about energy, I get it now. Because you can walk up on people and be like, whoa.
Yeah.
You don't know them, but something tells you this ain't right.
Yeah.
So I think people are, there's going to be a huge thing within the next 12 months.
I think I agree. I mean, I've been thinking about that since I read Chris Bledsoe's story, and he said that the lady that came to him and said that in 2026, I believe it is 2026, a big event, expanding of consciousness and the age of the divine feminine and all these things. So who knows? That's that is, it's interesting because I don't know, because I see the state of the world and I see people on all sides. Let me be very clear about that.
Right.
That are they've lost the ability to not be stupid. I'm just saying that. That's what it is.
That's
and
the
everyone's like, I hate you because you like this guy. I hate you because you like this guy. Well, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And they're all pussies to begin with. So like, it makes me so agitated.
Amen.
It's just the divisiveness, and divisiveness is not ever going to help us. It's only helping whoever's in charge,
Correct.
right?
And it's helping the people they claim they don't like.
And it's like, of course, every individual is going to have their own beliefs, their own values, their own preferences, their own opinions. Every single human is going to be different. But I think a big takeaway, and I will give Crimson credit for this.
Shout out Crimson.
Crimson from Minx and Muse. Love her so much.
R.I.P.
But no, it's not. It's just online now. It's all virtual. So minxandmuse.com. But anyway, something that we talked about, and this was years ago, was it was kind of like an exercise of what is something that feels like super triggering to you. Like if people bring it up, you immediately like feel yourself starting to get heated, whatever. And the challenge was, cool, you're going to spend the next month learning about it, watching videos, reading books, reading articles, looking into the research, because the easier you are to get triggered, the easier you are to control.
What was yours?
I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. And it's funny. I mean, I sit there and I will see it happen. And when I say that these people are stupid, I mean that, because what has happened here, when we talk about demonic activity, you want to know what a demon is? A demon is mainstream media. It's literally this thing that comes to the TV and like is designed to divide us all. And like one person watches one channel, the other watches another, and then they fight like the professional wrestlers without a cool storyline.
Right.
Like, it's wild. So I think it's good to see that spiritual thing coming from that. I noticed it when we were in Milwaukee or whatever, for the Marian apparition site that we went to. And I saw all these young people there. And I'm like, that's weird, because
Champion.
we live in Austin, Texas. Like most people are like, well, it'd be stupid. But like it was interesting to see the amount of people still going to a site like that. That was cool. And then you read these articles about it. So spirituality is coming back in a big way. I just hope that it's not another rise of the really kind of scammy portions of like the new age sort of movement. I hope this time what it does is bring people together and not divide them even more.
Right. And then the social media is also not helpful. And I knew things were going to get out of control with AI, and people will believe anything. Like I'm one of those people. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
There you go.
And I knew it was bad when a woman went off on a Facebook tangent over a picture that was clearly AI of a 3-year-old being put in handcuffs.
Right. Oh yeah. That's rampant right now. Okay. And there's a lot of outrage over it. It's rampant.
Right. And I was like, what? Yeah, I don't know. I'm sitting here. I'm sorry. I'm hearing things outside. It must be thunder.
We just heard it too. Is it raining?
It has been. It's supposed to storm. And I also, did you hear what sounded like a banjo? Like go ding?
No, I will have to listen to that, because it is funny. Like it's on our podcast, they're like Pokemon cards. Like you can collect them. Like there's EVPs like on episodes where we'll hear stuff. We have people message us like, oh, you got to go back and listen to this episode at this time. And we're like, what the hell? It gets pretty wild. A banjo? No, I didn't hear a banjo. I will listen back and see if I hear one.
Or a guitar string, something like that. Because I heard the thung, and I went, is that y'all? That's why you saw me going, what?
Interesting.
Do you have a guitar around?
No.
All right. We'll listen back.
Do y'all have one at your house?
Not in this room. This room has a bunch of haunted shit.
Yeah.
That's what we're in. Yeah. We don't have a haunted guitar.
No.
That's a bummer. Yeah, no, we have we're up here amongst our stuff. I mean, there's the brick right there. I'm looking at the Bell Witch rocks. I'm looking at the glass that's followed us. I'm looking at the Hill House chair, and it's a peaceful room.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
There ain't no telling what's in here. I mean, I'm in here with Native American relics.
Well, Was this all his collection of stuff? Like his office is still intact?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Are you at the hall right now?
No, I'm at the house.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm at his office at the house. I use it now, and pretty much I kept everything the same. I mean, I brought some of my stuff in here, but everything's pretty much still the same.
That's beautiful.
That is
Down
beautiful.
to his coffee mug.
Aw.
That's
Yep.
amazing.
We haven't even Mom, she's leaving it. It's not been washed. And here's the thing, it's got Weirdo Warriors United. And considering you're from Austin, Texas, but
There it is.
Oh, I love it. Beautiful.
I still have a thing of his cigars.
Oh,
sitting-
really?
Yeah.
What was his favorite? It just hit me when you said that. When we go visit, we're gonna have to bring one of those and just leave it.
He
cigar.
smoked red sweets.
Red sweets.
That
Yeah.
just sounds like something he would smoke.
He
Red
really
sweets.
he was a cigar connoisseur.
I spelled it sweets like a hotel. Like I'm an idiot. So, there you go.
Hey, that's a whole new branding right there, bro.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. People need to be open for conversations.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
there's once I learned it's okay to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Or just ask questions.
I mean, I want to know, like, okay, so why do you feel this way? But then, okay, let me tell you why I feel this way. And if we can't meet in the middle, okay, that's fine. We don't have to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't
mean-
fathom getting mad at someone because they have a different. It's weird to me. It's just weird. Like unless
But
it gets.
it happens.
Yeah, it's weird. It's an odd thing.
I mean,
My favorite color is red. Well, mine's blue. Fuck you. Ah, it's just wild.
right.
You know.
Right.
I didn't mean to
mean-
use red and blue. That's very relevant.
Yeah, I was like, now people are gonna make so many assumptions about you.
Well, they do that already. So I guess I'm just.
We're
It's
just to
okay.
be clear, we're neither. We're Jedis.
Jedi. Well,
There
yeah.
you go.
We are of the Jedi party.
We just watched those new movies. It's my first
Yeah.
time seeing the
I mean,
7, 8, 9.
Listen, I think Star Wars had a lot right. Okay, the
Yeah,
Force,
but
it's all around
you're
you.
an
You gotta
Empire
use the
guy.
Force.
I
Listen,
agree.
We're Jedis.
We are going to be next week. This week.
This week
This week.
we leave Thursday.
Wow. It's our birthdays.
Yeah,
And we're going to Disney World.
we're going to Disney
Nice.
World.
So it's funny. We did pack our K2. So saying it out there because we know when the camera goes off in the Haunted Mansion ride.
Yeah.
And we want to be
Yes.
holding the K2 meter up like we're like in the Haunted Mansion investigating.
Take it on the small world.
Oh yeah, it'll probably go up. That's a creepy ride. I got stuck on there one time.
Oh,
Like, yes, but the song kept playing, and oh my god, that was awful.
I'm
It's
gonna start playing it at night sometime and just like see how long it takes for you to wake up screaming.
Well, I wake up screaming sometimes without you having to do that.
I know.
Yeah.
and you did bring up something really cool earlier that I want to talk to you about. So, when you were talking about the fans,
Mhm.
okay, since I was a child, I have to sleep with a fan on.
I am the same way. Yeah.
I'm like,
She's the
I
same.
can't sleep without it.
Yeah, it's weird. So there's something about that white noise too that and fans are interesting. So pro tip for people listening, it's a great way to generate white noise for your EVPs is a box fan. Or even a white noise thing like it's in a bedroom. So funny thing, this I can't remember when this was, it was recent. You had that thing going in the room.
We have an air purifier because I have awful allergies.
And I kept asking you if it was a radio
Mhm.
because I was literally hearing radio, not static, radio voices. It sounded like a baseball game or whatever. I'm like, what the hell? And I get up and go out into the kitchen. And then I'm hearing what sounds like someone listening to their radio, like in a truck or something, but like it was weird.
Yeah, and I fully thought, I was like, oh, well, this is it. He's losing his fucking marbles. But then maybe like within a week or something, I had the same experience. I got up in the middle of the
Wait,
night.
really?
No, I told you about it because I had gotten up in the middle of the night and I was like getting water or whatever. And yeah, because we have so many haunted things in the house, I know
Right.
exactly what you're talking about, Beth, when you're like, sometimes the energy just changes. And it's that way at the house too. Like there are times where either of us will be like, no, it feels weird out there. Like I do not want to be out there. And it was one of those nights. And yeah, you could hear it sounded almost like I don't know, like a radio.
That's
Like it
interesting.
sounded
I
like
don't remember you telling me that.
distant,
Yes, it
but
sounds distant.
yeah.
Like
That's
the
very
way I
interesting.
was like envisioning it, it was like it sounded in my head. I was like, "There's someone in a truck in my garage listening to this." Is what it sounded like. It was that kind of distant. And then when I went back into the room, it was like it was on your side of the bed, and it was like a baseball game. So it was weird.
It's just me haunting you.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. For all the shit I get, it's you. But yeah, I don't know where we are. Or we got way off topic there.
Sorry.
Which is like we
There is no off topic.
There is no off topic. Yeah, I mean, this has been amazing. We've been wanting to catch up with you for so long. I'm so happy we finally are able to do it. I know it's funny because Nicole's like my little calendar sometimes, and I just don't know when or what we're doing ever. So like today, she's like, "Oh yeah, we got Beth tonight." I'm like, Beth, Octagon Hall. She's like, "Yep." I'm like, "All right." So it was super cool to do that. It's amazing. What's next for you? Like, what are you going to be doing with these various groups you're working with? What's the next Popeyes you're going to? Like, what's next for the hall? Like, what's going on? Like, tell us what's going to be happening in the near future for Beth.
Well, I'm proud to say that I haven't ate at Popeyes in 2.5 years.
Because of a ghostly encounter you had in the bathroom? No.
No, because it just ain't good for high cholesterol.
Too much Popeyes, you'll be haunting us.
Right. The biggest thing I've got coming up, I just released it and trying to get everything set up. I'm having a convention at Octagon Hall Memorial Day weekend next year.
Congrats, it's amazing.
It's called BearCon.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
I've got Dave Spinks is coming, Serenity Jenny, the Ghost Biker, Miranda Young, Dr. Chris Sumner from Soul Sisters Paranormal. I've got Mark Holland coming to speak, and I have Billy Wilkerson coming to do a GPR demonstration.
Wow, that's gonna be a lot of. We'll have to make
and
it. That's gonna be cool.
Yeah,
Angel Lee is coming as well, and she's doing a gallery.
Oh, gallery, cool.
And Jenny's going to be doing workshops and readings and whatnot. And Dave has investigated the hall quite a lot himself. They're all people that were very close to Bear. And we're going to have vendors, food trucks. The Friday night is going to be bear time stories around the fire.
Oh.
We're going to roast weenies and marshmallows. And then Saturday is going to be the gallery and the vendors and whatnot.
That's amazing.
That'll be great.
I love that you're doing that because, at the end of the day, maybe a lot of this that we experience comes down to that, how special it is to keep someone's existence alive through their memories and their stories.
Yep.
And that's very special. Like that brick will always be special to us. Like we have so many items, right? But like this one story, him sitting down and him just saying, "Yeah, I like you guys," and just gave us this original brick. This is wild.
Yeah.
So we love that you're doing that.
And it's about Billy Bird as well, because we would not have the Octagon Hall Museum if it was not for Billy Bird. And he and Bear were best friends. They were like brothers. And carrying on their legacy is very important to me. It's important to Isaac and just all of us that love them. And, Bear touched so many people. And he was a part of a lot of people's journeys, their growth as investigators and researchers. And we need to remember him.
Yes. And anyone here that is, listening, whether you're an investigator or you're curious or whatever, there's a lot of places that you can go visit and travel to and investigate and see. And I'm going to tell you, and I've said it before, but out of all the places that we've been and that we go, there's a handful of very special ones, and Octagon Hall is on that list.
Yeah.
It's on that list.
Yeah.
Not just the activity, the history, the stories, it's all there and you feel it.
The people.
Yes, it's all there. The hidden compartments in the house and the walls, like it's just a beautiful, beautiful land and a beautiful property with a lot of stuff happening there.
And Franklin is just an interesting place as it is. There's a lot of history here, Civil War based, and just Kentucky you learn all kinds of stuff here in Kentucky. Another place that I'm very passionate about and I support is Scott County Historic Jail, which is out in Huntsville, Tennessee, and it's run by Chris and Miranda. And they have done such a good job preserving the history. It's a great location if you're interested in the paranormal. It's a very active place as well. And I love to see that, good people preserving history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there are a lot of them out there that they don't do a very good job with that.
No, they're excellent.
Unfortunately.
That's good.
Oh man, they do so much in the community as well. And that's what we should do. Like I go out and speak and do those kind of things as well. So
it is. It's good to get back to that community. We do libraries. We like that.
We're doing one in a couple weeks.
Are we?
Yeah, we're going back down to San Marcos.
I love it.
Yeah, I think it's October 22nd.
Sweet. Spooky season.
And see, that's important because
Yeah.
we're sharing, and there are some people that may not have been exposed to the supernatural, or one of the things I found too is people getting into it, they become stronger within their faith, no matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. 100%.
So you're helping people learn about history, but you're helping them learn about themselves as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think there's something very spot on about that, for sure. Well, Beth, we've taken almost 2 hours of your time at this point. We're so thankful for it. For the listeners, again, I can't rave enough about Octagon Hall, but also just go look at everything Beth is doing. Where can people find you? You mentioned all these different groups, and my brain is mush anyways, but where do we find you? Where can people go see what you're doing?
The most common page for me is going to be my Soul on Blaze and Lantern and Lore Society. They're together as one.
Nice name.
That's for my tour company.
I love it.
And I've got some stuff coming out. I've been neglecting it, and that's on Facebook, but I'm trying to get back in there. I'm currently working on the book for the hall that I'll be putting out next year, I hope.
Oh, yay.
So I'm excited about that. But most of the stuff I do is on my personal page, just Beth Allen. And it says that I'm the director of operations at Octagon Hall. And of course, our octagonhallmuseum.com website has any events we've got coming up, the history of Octagon Hall, some of our evidence that we've captured. So a little bit everywhere, but those are the main ones.
Or maybe find your local, I was going to say, maybe go to your local Popeyes.
Yeah.
The Popeyes bathroom, to be exact.
Amazing. The Popeyes Poltergeist. That's right.
Yeah.
But more than likely, it will be a Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
We'll see you there.
Yeah. Well, Beth, thank you so very much. Hang on the line. We'll say our own goodbyes. But for everyone listening, that was our conversation with the wonderful Beth Allen. Say goodbye to everybody in Radio Land, Beth.
I hope y'all have a good night, and thank you for having me.
You got it.
Thank you.